Hi, Roy.
Hey Warren, how's it going?
Well, I'm just excellent. How are you?
I'm here and doing okay. I'm all right.
You are so excited to be discussing this episode, I can tell.
If I could laugh, I don't want to give the episode away that we're going to be talking about, but I would say if I could laugh like if only I could laugh like
Well, listen, not that we've given it away in the scroll on the bottom already, but do you happen to have a handy little ITC summary there?
I sure do. And it goes something like this. Hijacked by a robot, a living machine with a brain, a human voice, and a terrifying secret. And obviously, we're talking about year two, episode number 9, Brian the Brain.
Ryan the Brain. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's dive right in then. Tonight, Roy, we're joined by a very special guest, making his first time appearance on Space 1999. This episode, let's bring on Mr. Gordon Moriguchi. Hello, my friend.
Good
Hey,
evening. How you
welcome.
folks doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. I noticed that you guys were talking about Brian the Brain. Figured I'd bring
I
my
think
very
so.
special Swift,
Well, of
and
course.
it even has the Bill George found, Bill Altenberg produced antenna, the little green antenna.
Oh,
You can't be without that.
that
Very
is
nice.
something else. Bill is amazing, isn't he?
He is. He is.
Some amazing.
That
incredible work.
particular one was actually built by Bim Pomeroyan. It's one of well, I forget the individual who produced the kit, but amazing kit. Alex Dumas. That's it.
Okay,
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So much talent out there, Gordon. It is amazing, and it never ceases to be amazing. And thanks for sharing that. Hey, look who's out
Absolutely.
there. Hi, hun. Thanks for joining us.
and hi, Sherry. Thanks
Speaking
for
of
joining
amazing,
in. This is an unusual time slot as well, guys. I mean, we should probably call this Moonlight Madness or something.
Lunar Madness. Yeah.
Boy, yeah, a lot of people chiming in already. Thanks for your support. Christine's out there. Chris is out there. Brian the Brain, one of my favorite episodes. Okay, that's interesting. Um, Nancy's out there. Oh, and Heather's out there. Oops, and Andy. Wow, geez, so many people showing up here all at once. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the support.
great to see everyone out there. Thanks for being out there. And speaking of the moon, Shari's commenting. It's almost a full moon.
Yeah. Down here in Virginia, it's very bright outside.
Yeah. Very
It's
cool. So it's
beautiful.
only appropriate that we're talking about Space 1999 tonight.
Well, there's
Oh yeah.
for a lot of reasons, fellas, and of course, not to mention what's happening with NASA tomorrow. A very exciting return to the moon after 50 years. Isn't it incredible to think of? Just yeah, it's been all that time, right? And there even Kelly was saying on the previous broadcast, Kelly Fast, that the orbit they're taking around the moon is going to take them further than any human beings have ever traveled.
I actually read that today, and that's pretty exciting.
I certainly hope
Kind of
very,
scary, but exciting at the same time.
I certainly hope they have a very safe trip.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
It is exciting though. It's going to be interesting to see all the modern camera gear taking photos of the moon that close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be kind of cool to see the original moon landing spots. Maybe that might put
Debunk a few theories.
put a few theories to bed.
Yeah, no, that is very exciting. Just the level of technology in the last 50 years with videography and all things camera and resolution.
Absolutely, yeah, and I am really looking forward to that. Instead of speculating and using kitty litter for special effects dioramas and things like that, we get to really check it out at very high megapixel resolution. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's just an exciting time for science fans, for science fiction fans, for Space 1999 fans. Hey, Diana's out there. Hey, Diana. She's joining us from New Jersey as well. Welcome.
Hey, Diana.
Also, Adrian is out there. I believe he's joining us from Australia, right? And wasn't he just on?
Yeah, actually, Adrian popped on last week with David Hirsch and myself.
Yes.
How
Hi,
you doing?
Adrian.
Flat earthers will be losing their minds around now.
Oh boy.
That is not a lie. Oh man. So Brian the Brain, you chose to pick Brian the Brain to talk about. Well, it's an interesting episode to say the least. I thought it was actually a fun episode, not quite as fun as the Beta Cloud or Space Warp. I mean, those were really high intense episodes when it comes to the action. But it was a fun episode. I didn't exactly understand the whole mindset of Brian and him trying to make Koenig and Dr. Russell do their thing with these airlocks on the Swift. I thought that was kind of silly. Either you're going to be evil or you're not going to be evil, but it was just kind of a mixed bag, really. Maybe to satisfy his curiosity, if he has that, which he apparently does.
Well, it's interesting, actually. Adrian was mentioning last week, he sort of pointed out that when you think about it, for as zany and goofy as Brian was at the onset, right? I mean, he ended up being, essentially, there are a lot of sort of, and not just with this episode, but several early year two episodes, there was a lot of evil underpinning, right? On the surface, it seemed like it was one thing, right? Megas or Tabor and Brian were the three examples we cited, but there's some definite shenanigans going on behind the scenes. And Brian essentially was, a murderous AI when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
See how convenient it is to label Brian now in 2026.
They knew what they're doing. Freddie knew.
Oh, that gets a new Spock moment.
How does it go, Roy? All roads lead back to?
All roads lead to Star Trek. Diana says they should have just told Brian they loved each other.
Just get it over with.
Diana, it would have been no love test.
Yeah. How do we eat up about 10 minutes of time during this 52-minute episode? I have an idea. Love test 101.
Yeah, we're trying to inject more humanity into the characters.
Yeah, it's too funny. But nevertheless, from a cult classic perspective, the ship is really the star of the show. I think second, well, from third to the Eagle and the Hawk, I think the Swift is probably the most popular. Mm-hmm. And of course, Steve Walker from 1612 took a gamble and created the tooling and then produced the diecast. It wasn't the first Swift produced. I think Fanderson produced a very small kit way back in the 90s. But for the level of detail at this particular scale, you gotta tip your hat for Steve Walker and taking that chance. It's a shame though that they didn't sell as well as he probably would have liked, and I think he had to do some clearance on the last remaining few that he had. Which is a kind of a telltale sign. Everybody's talking about what's going to be the next 99 model from MPC, and not everybody, but a lot of people were talking about the Swifts. Like, well, I think Steve is a perfect example of everybody who wants one has one. I don't necessarily know if they'll be able to produce a kit at that cost and try to sell that many units.
There just might not be the market, but
right.
It would make sense. I was actually just going to ask you that, Gord, but yeah, with everything round two's done, I mean, another wonderful company that's really gone to bat the last 10, 15 years in reinvigorating interest in Space 1999.
Yeah, and that really goes down to the question: what would the fans really like to see as the next kit? Because I've I've had a number of people ask me, so is there anything new coming from Round 2 MPC? And I said, I think they're really focusing on UFO at the moment. I know the Shadow Mobile is supposed to be coming out soon. But if you were to look at it from a business perspective, which I say all the time, what would you produce that would actually sell? Yes, I would love an Ultra Probe. I would love a 44-inch put together styrene Eagle kit to add to my collection.
You don't have enough.
I don't. I'm just kidding. I got plenty. But I mean, what would you do as the fan? And that's what I always ask the person. It's like, well, what do you think? And I think that the only things that really are remaining after 29 products since 2014, that's quite the respectable number for 99, is Roy's most favorite Eagle. Get a pre-built 22-inch Eagle 4 from the Metamorph. Put that together in a limited number of like maybe 5, 7, 800, whatever. The VIP, very low numbers. That would be an easy win because it's already a transporter. And then what would be really cool is maybe 5 or 6 inch 3 Eagle kit model, maybe snap together set of all 3 variants, right? The lab, the transporter, and the cargo winch, right? And that would be really awesome. Or throw 3 Hawks in there, 3 Eagles in there, make miniature war games,
mini fleets. Yeah.
The battle scene or whatever you want to call it, right? I would think that would be probably the remaining of what 99 can really sell well. Yeah. I know they have a crap load of ships, but would they sell? And that's really the bottom line. Right. Anyway, I think I've beat that dead horse.
No, but of course, you know how I feel about Eagle 4 from the Metamorph. I mean, that's the Eagle among all.
They would sell well. I think those pre-builts would sell very well. They would sell out pretty quick.
I'm surprised he hasn't done that yet.
Jamie did say it's not off the table, even though Jamie's not in that role anymore. Aaron Skinner is in that role now. So if anybody's going to, we talked about the Ultra Probe. If anybody's going to Wonderfest, hit up Aaron and talk to him about the pre-built Eagle 4. Yeah. I would say that would be a no-brainer. They already got the tooling. They could make either Eagle 1 or Eagle 2 out of that particular Eagle, and they would sell them. They would sell them like hotcakes, man. Pre-builts? Yeah, I love pre-builts. Tomy Plus, I got both of those Enterprises. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Did you get the new motion picture one?
Yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, it is sweet. I am no Star Trek fan like you, Roy, or Warren. I don't know if you're like to the level of Roy, going to Ticonderoga and doing all that stuff. But to have the motion picture Enterprise in all its glory with that iridescent surface and all the lights that go along with it. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. And I don't have to have, Mark Myers did an amazing job being kind of the one consultant / engineer for Tomy Plus. And it's not one of his own builds, but for the price and having it in my house, I'm happy camper. Yeah. I'm absolutely happy camper. It's almost like the Wand utility belt. You get all 3 of them. Yeah. The communicator phaser and the tricorder, and it doesn't have to be built by any super duper special whatever. This is a nice mass produced thing, and that's all I've ever wanted. And they're very sweet, and to put it all together in a nice ensemble, yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Pretty good price point too. I think it was only $699 for the
$699. Yeah, you can't beat it.
No,
$599 for the
that is. Oh my God!
$599 for the TOS Enterprise. Back in 2023? 2023. I am so glad I got one of each, and they are just absolutely amazing. Yeah, they did a good job. Yeah, so there's a little bit of you could see I guess the seams or whatever. It's like
I've seen some comments, a little bit of light leaks here and there, yeah. But it's like for $699, thank you. I'm happy. I'll live with it.
Yep.
No, you cannot go wrong for what you're getting for that product. For that price. That's a win-win.
And a guy who is one of the Wonderfest and also a props and ships admin, Neil Strawbridge, he's a music composer. He actually did the I guess the music for when they were turning the lights on in sequence in the movie, and he did his own little special effects thing, almost to the same beat as you saw in the movie. Did a really good job on a little video and posted it online. You should check it out. It's really neat. But of the Tomy Enterprise, it's
Right.
like, yeah, I got that.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yep.
That's great.
Anyway,
That's
back to Brian the Brain.
Yeah, Brian the Brain. We got Adrian's just chiming in saying the life of Brian the Brain. You got to be a particular age to get that reference, but
Yeah.
Adrian's also saying
Bernard
something about a
Cribbins?
Cetasius. Yeah, you'd mentioned there's a plethora of ships, but it's just how big of a market is it going to be for some of this stuff, right? I'd love a Cetasius too.
So guys, I would think that the Cetasius would be an interesting conversation just to have in itself. It's like, I liked it when it was yellow and they did all those publicity shots before they spray painted it green.
Yeah.
Or something silly like that. I mean, we can really geek out to death on that.
You could have a field day with that.
Yeah, but the Cetasius, it's a beautiful ship. It's one of Martin Bower's best creations. I love it. Definitely has that warship appeal to it. Mm-hmm. I love the publicity shots that Brian Johnson had done with the 22-inch Eagle, and just the yellow look from when he delivered it from his bench, and when they did the green look to it, I would have preferred the yellow.
It lost something in translation, I think, for sure.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they even did some yellow special effects, and I think one of the shots were in Wonder Woman. And
yes, they were. Absolutely.
But it was of the yellow one, not the green one. Right. So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, like I said, I can nerd out like you would. 99 reference business.
That's awesome.
I found out only a couple of years ago, there's like a library of where these special effects are housed, and it's pretty cool that they have them. It's almost like a
it's an archive of
yeah.
So you can see, I can't think of the name, but it's a famous, they're on YouTube actually, and you can look up all of the unused effect shots from the series.
And they were for sale for a while, and they were used in a sundry of movies throughout the time. And music videos. Oh my gosh, the one most recognizable one is the one from The Flock of Seagulls. When I Think About You, or whatever. I forget the name of the song. It's like when I have it in my head, but I can't remember the name of the song. And then of course Rush did
Distant Early Warning with it, right?
Yep. Yeah, Space Warp.
Awesome. Funny aside, Rush, for anybody out there, famous Canadian rock trio, lost their amazing drummer Neil Peart a number of years ago. But
2020,
just 2 nights ago in Canada at the Juno Awards, they launched the
Finding My Way.
Yes, with the new drummer Annika Niles from Germany, and it's wow, they just blew the roof off.
Wow.
People were waiting. I mean, I know that there's no way, and they even take it with serious respect that there's no way that you can fill Neil's shoes.
I know.
But I think they're going about it the right way, and they still got a lot of skin in the game, and I think that they're going to be able to do very well. And I would love to hear another studio album. So we'll see what happens with that.
Wow, never thought we'd be talking about Rush tonight.
Hey, that particular road goes to 99.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, because you and I both clicked on the video right away.
All roads.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the disco queen Amy Stewart, who did Knock on Wood?
Vaguely.
Look it up on whenever you have a chance. It was like a #1 hit or whatever back in the late 70s. Anyway, she actually did another music video, not a very popular song, but apparently their stage team for the video rented the astronaut spacesuits from Space 1999, and they were in the video. So you could actually you could actually check out just about all of the references on the Catacombs.
Yeah. Really? Wow, that's fascinating.
I know. Like I said, I can geek out in some of this.
It's okay. Hey, guys, I just remembered as well, Roy, in case you're interested or anybody out there, it's the Kino Library.
Oh, okay.
Kino. That's where you'll find all those unused effect shots.
Very cool.
Or your DVD set.
Yeah, there's been a couple releases. Yeah, and that's where I pulled a lot of the scenes from that Anton Phillips trailer.
Oh, nice.
We're off of that reel there. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, about Brian the Brain, good grief. From the storyline, it's interesting how, we talk about this planet that, what kind of gas was it? Was it chlorine gas? Another chlorine gas thing. They love talking about chlorine or this chlorine breeding. Yeah. The AB Chrysalis did the same thing. But Planet D?
Planet D. Yep.
It was interesting to come across another human space mission. Probably not even in with reference to anything from the year one, but here we are with another space mission with a bunch of Swifts. You got the main Swift with a bunch of little Swifts, I guess, I don't know, and a bunch of Bryans floating around. And they became blind by Brian because he was, he wanted to live forever. And I think he was a little jealous or just evil. What would you call it? Murderous AI?
Essentially. I also heard there was something on Catacombs as well, that there was indeed not only a fleet of Swifts, but a family of Bryans, and the other ones were, I think, Betty the Brain, Bob the Brain.
Nice. So another cool tidbit, and Warren, if you want, I can shoot these to you. I have a whole bunch of publicity photos of Jerry Anderson doing he actually looked a little buff in the shirt that he was wearing with a coffee cup set on Brian, doing publicity shots with Brian the Brain. It's actually interesting stuff, and I can shoot those to you.
Sure. You know what? And one other thing I thought of just as you were explaining that there, Gord, is that Brian ended up in the Blackpool exhibit after the series.
Yeah.
For a number of years, right? So you could actually go and see the famous command center computer wall and a lot of the props and ships, and Brian was a part of that, I believe.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah. That with what is it, Maya's and Mentor's outfits on these weird mannequin looking things. I would have loved to have seen one of those exhibits. That would have been something. And of course, nobody had a really decent camera at the time. It sure would have been nice to have and of course, I bet lighting sucked. Everything was like dark and spacey, So I would think that their flash or whatever, they would either get overexposed or just crappy photos, which totally understandable. Now, if you could walk in there with an iPhone 17 or something like that, that'd be great.
It's a shame that there's such a limit of photos that were taken at those exhibits when you consider what that exhibit had. I mean, granted, we were very fortunate to see a lot of the model shots that we've seen over the years, and then also the references to Brian the Brain that always seems to to pop up. But there's so many more photos that could have been captured at those exhibits. It's such a loss.
Well, but we've done very well. The ships have basically survived, right? So, but the sets and it's very unfortunate, very tragic. If I could just add here really quickly for anybody out there, or even yourself, Gordon, let me just say, without giving too much away, be careful what you wish for, because if you're planning on coming to Manchester, we are working on something very, very special for the exhibit room in Manchester. So
nice.
You might not want to miss it. And it could tie into everything we've just been discussing the last few minutes. So,
I know Daryl made I missed the 2024, but Daryl and team back then, I guess it was called All Sections Alpha, did the whole command center computer wall, and then Andrew Frampton has his own desk or desks. I think he just has one. I don't remember, but anyway, beautiful setup back in 2014. And Warren, Roy, all three of us were there.
Yeah,
I can't believe it's been freaking 12 years ago now. Unbelievable, just how
That
time flies.
that was because they had the entire command center wall there, right?
Yeah.
The
The
reproduction.
computer wall. Yeah.
Yeah, and just again, I mean, similar to Daryl's work on the Eagle, just the number of man hours and the level of detail and authenticity that went into that.
Anyway, where I was leading was be kind of cool to see that with the Eagle cockpit that you guys had 2 years, well, now 2 years ago, there at the show, and then on top of that, to see Eagle 1 and Eagle 2 in the same spot. That was just something else. And then Andrew, I to this day I'm still in awe, which basically inspired me to go for my own collection, to let me hold Eagle 2 and get a good photo of it. I love that. That was amazing.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. They're all good guys. I mean, Daryl and Andrew. I mean,
yeah.
I
agree.
Yeah.
And what amazing craftsmanship. You guys must have had a really good time over in London.
It was pretty amazing. Peterborough was pretty hard to top, right? But I think it was really about that Eagle set that indeed did it. And of course, that's virtually coming back this year. And some other big surprises that are going to be announced in the next few months for everybody to look forward to. So
nice.
Very cool.
The one thing I was going to touch on was the idea in the episode itself. They didn't do it often, but it was a nice touch, Gord, like you said, to sort of build that in-universe continuity with the idea of the space mission from Earth, failed or not, right? Like that was the other thing. Space did very well.
It failed. I mean, everything failed. Good grief. The Ultima Thule, Dragon's Domain. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, and on and on. Yeah, but no, it was a nice nod to everything that had come before, even though it didn't directly reference year one in any way. It was still nice.
I wish they had at least considered the dates, but it was something that they didn't worry about. Unfortunately,
no.
I mean, it was not a priority, and
it was a syndicated show, so there was no arc. There wasn't anything like that. These were independent stories that were mushed around, and they knew that it was going into syndication, so they were going to try to make the money as best they can.
And in regards to the time frame, I mean, with year 2 episodes and year 1, I mean, Fred Freiberger really, it wasn't his concern. He didn't think the fans would be it would be at the top of their list of concerns, and it's unfortunate. But then, you know what? Here we are 50 years later having this discussion, and who would have thought even then, right, that this would have evolved into what it's evolved into.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself says a lot about the show.
Yeah. Another cool thing that I really liked about the episode, which was even cooler in Sans Spectre, was Koenig's silver suit.
Yes.
I kind of like that. That was kind of neat. In the past, even in UFO and some other shows, the spacesuits were normally notoriously silver. It was kind of neat to see this one alpha suit be silver, even though the Sans Spectre one was more of a fire retardant outfit that real firemen actually used. But still, it was kind of neat to encompass, the helmet thingy and that accordion, whatever. And it was all silver, in which I ended up making actually David Bolter made a custom action figure for me, a Koenig action figure. So I treasure that. But it was kind of neat to see that. You actually saw that on the cover of one of the UK Year 2 novels.
UK Year 2 novels, yeah. Psychomorph, Psycho Bombs. No, what am I thinking? Psychomorph.
You know what? I got.
You should know this, guys.
Here, by golly.
Yeah, I should know this, but
thank God.
The strangest little things.
Thank God for the internet.
Creative juices are not flowing the way they should be right now.
That's okay. Hey, it's late. Don't worry. Don't worry.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Let's see here. No, you're right. The Psychomorph.
Yeah.
Psycho
Bombs was an episode of UFO.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Psycho Mobs.
Right.
You know what was interesting too? This episode, back in the day, I used to kind of be bummed when I would see that Alan wasn't being featured. Nick wasn't in the episode. However, for continuity purposes, they did actually make use of Fraser. John Hugg, he actually had more to do in regards to this episode, and it was good to always see a familiar face. Granted, Warren, you were just discussing with Kelly earlier, and Andy, you were talking about the Mark of Archon. He had a very short appearance where he pretty much says that Eagle 3 is ready, and he's talking to the pilot who is taken out by Pask, but still he makes his appearance. But in this episode, he's actually in the pilot seat, and Vidashi is in the co-pilot seat, and they're going after Koenig, and they're going after Helena. So it was good to see him, being involved in a little bit more of the action. He was directing the other Eagles as far as where they should be, and it was he got a little bit.
The funny thing about that episode, though, is that Fraser's the Fraser. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's either one of two or the only one episode that he's wearing the blue jacket in that episode. Normally, he wears a red jacket.
Yeah. Yes.
But strangely enough, they made the action figure of Fraser, the series 5 of all those CTVT action figures, in the blue jacket. If you wanted to stick a red jacket on him, which is very hard to get. Like I said, I can geek out all day. That is one of the few times you actually see him in that particular jacket. I know we can get on a conversation with, hey, what color did he wear this time? Green, and Koenig had like three different colors: gray, blue, and black.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a navy blue one and a charcoal one and a black one, I think.
I like the gray / charcoal one. That was probably
that was for the later episodes too, during the production, right?
Yep, Bringers of Wonder. He would be wearing that. I think he also wore that in A Matter of Balance, at least in the beginning of the episode. Mm-hmm. And then what happened was you see him in the salmon jacket that he wore the first time in the Metamorph.
Yeah.
In fact, that jacket is not seen after Space Warp, and those were the 2 Double Up episodes that they filmed back to back. So it was kind of a disappointment that when he's in, like, let's say the Immunity Syndrome, when he's on the planet, when he goes down to the Devil's Planet, he's just wearing his regular standard, as opposed to the mission salmon jacket that he's
right.
wearing.
Yeah, like I said, we can geek out all day on this stuff. Yeah. But I mean, if you're going to talk about Brian the Brain, I usually like to, bring in some of the cool stuff that's about it. Another thing that I posted today was some of the airbrush silliness of the publicity shots that they've done. And there were 2 distinguished Brian the Brain ones where you had the 2 security guards holding their rifles. Well, they actually used airbrush super duper lasers coming out of them.
Those were first in the Starlog magazine, and I think if I had to guess, it would have been probably either issue 2, 3.
I thought it was a Space Report.
What's that?
Was it not a Space Report photo?
It might have been. Yeah. Well, I stand corrected. Yeah. Actually, hang on.
We got it right there. But it's so funny. Kelly Fast from NASA.
Actually, no, I think it is in issue 2.
I think so. Yeah. No, just an hour ago, Kelly Fast had all the merchandise and memorabilia too. She was holding up her old RCA record album.
Nice. Yeah, look in issue 2 or 3.
Not sure.
Yeah,
I just happen to have it right here.
Right there.
I could talk to you a little bit about that issue 2. Is that the original or is that a reprint? So the way to tell is, and I've said this before, probably on one of these podcasts, if it has the back issues of just 1 and 2, it's an original. If it has the back issues of 1 through 8, of the number 2, it's a reprint.
Oh, there you go.
That's the only way you could tell. They didn't say reprint on them.
That makes sense.
Oh, sorry, Warren. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, just fun fact. Kelly Fast said an hour ago that she's actually got an eagle that sits on her desk at NASA.
Oh, nice. How cool is that?
Right?
What? Yeah, which one?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Don't tell Roy, but it's an Eagle 4 pre-built from round 2.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Don't kid her.
I thought I thought, I guess, filling in the gap with the storyline of Brian's antenna being a tail, like a mouse's tail, was kind of interesting. You would think that he would actually have an actual antenna or some sort of dish that would spin around or whatever. But having a rat tail, I guess, kind of helped out with regards to being stuck in the door and not floating away.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the episode.
Definitely there for a reason. Like it makes no sense other than that last scene, right?
Right.
Well, here's a comment I want to bring up to you guys, and this always bothered me about the episode. So, at the very end, the epilogue, what happens is Koenig and Meyer, they're talking about everything with Brian and everything, and then Koenig says, let's take a look at it. They bring it up on the screen, and it appears that the Swift is still in space because Brian is basically still hanging on with his tail. So I guess my question is, where is the Swift? What did they just leave it there? Did they just leave it in space? What was your?
That same question can be asked about a number of episodes. Like, what did they do with the derelict spaceship from Space Warp? I would have kept that. What happened to what was the Cetasius and the other warship? There's a lot of cool technology that was blown away, but still could have been salvaged. I mean, the Gwent. Good grief, we could go on and on talking.
Right, but with Brian though, it's you still see him like hanging in space. So it's almost like, to me, they never brought the Swift back. Because you know what I mean? And then he even said, let's return the memory core to Swift.
Yeah.
And then I mean, to me it was just surprising that they didn't bring it back to Alpha. Or essentially what they were doing is they were just using that one shot where you're basically seeing Brian hanging, what I mean, and connected.
I would think that Koenig would want to hold on to that.
Yeah.
I know I would have as commander of Moonbase Alpha. It's like, I would grab every resource that I possibly can. But then again, I also wouldn't have gone and passed by, 4 or 5 different planets in one season either. I would have hung out on Devil's Planet and it's like, hey, Operation Exodus, come on down. Let's figure this thing out. Good grief. We're surviving, or the main planet, right? We're surviving. We're doing okay. This is a good planet. We could do it. I'm sorry about
nice place, huh? Kind of peaceful.
Right. Yeah, I would have been fine with that. It's like, oh yeah.
Too funny. Hey guys, Christopher has brought up something here that I wanted to point out as well. As far as Derek's music in year 2, I love the music cue that's used in that scene where John goes down. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, since we were talking about Starlog, but isn't there a picture of that scene in Starlog somewhere?
Yes.
And I was just fascinated. Like, I didn't even remember seeing the episode, but that image just really, really always stuck with me.
Yes. Yeah, he's climbing down the ladder with his flashlight, and you see the dead bodies everywhere in the fog.
Very, very spooky. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
I think that's actually an episode. Episode. I think that's in Starlog number 5, which I'm actually pulling out as we're speaking.
That's gonna bug Roy until he finds it.
It really will. I can't let.
I have the answer. I think I have the answer.
Issue number 5. I think Chris Dalton.
Yep.
He's agreeing with you. That's too funny. Yeah, like I said, we could kind of geek out on some of this merch. I'm definitely into the merch.
Is this the planet you're talking about, Gordon?
Yes.
I love that set though too. That whole chamber really opened up year 2 in that episode. I really appreciate Devil's Planet for that.
Yeah, I appreciate Devil's Planet for that too.
Hey, didn't James Winch bring one of the helmets from that episode to Breakaway 2019?
I think so.
I think you're right. I think he did.
Yeah. Like with the gold sort of wrap around.
I thought it was silver, whatever the silver stuff is.
Yeah.
Silver. Yeah. Might have been gold.
Yeah. Maybe it was just yellowed.
I'm getting getting on up there. A lot of wasted brain cells on certain things, and not enough brain cells on more important things.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't know. 42 minutes talking about Brian the Brain. How are we doing, guys?
Doing pretty good.
Oh,
go ahead.
You'll want to talk about more stuff. I mean, good grief, Brian Johnson actually had quite the chore of doing quite a bit of unique flight sequences that weren't standard library stuff, right? Because you had all those eagles coming in to intercept the Brian and chasing after.
Yeah, some really cool shots there.
Yeah, and then you had some really cool shots of the Swift, which was really awesome, spinning around, and because Brian is trying to I'm trying to drive this thing, and I'm getting a hang of it. Oh, let me, he's having some issues, but there was a lot of special effects sequences that were actually produced for that particular episode. So yeah, Brian Johnson, that is, actually had quite the chore for that episode. But you got to see a lot of eagle action as well, especially when Tony had told Maya, I want to go to Planet D. And then you get to see the close-up of the air jets.
The air jets.
Yeah. That was kind of neat. But typically you don't see a lot of really cool detail on the eagle. But that episode, you actually got to see some really good close-up stuff.
Yes, Bernard Cribbins.
And special guest star.
Yeah.
He went on to appear in Doctor Who.
Yep.
Yeah, sadly, he just passed, I think, last year. He truly a legend.
But as Cribbins as Maya did very well, I think.
Amazing makeup. Hey, just out of curiosity, I think I know the answer to this, but Gordon, do you know who currently owns the Swift? Is that Martin Willey?
Oh, I
think so.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know that there's I thought there was a piece broken off of it, and I don't even know if it was restored or not. I honestly don't know.
I recall something. He was on one of our virtual events and sort of giving us a tour, Roy. I'm not sure if you remember, but I think he has the original Swift.
He might. Now, here's a question, Gordon. What is the difference between the Swift and the Super Swift from Bringers of Wonder?
Let me show you.
Okay.
So another Bill Altenberg amazing work of art is the Super Swift from Bringers of Wonder. Mike Reeder did all the aluminum. Mike Reeder actually built this and detailed it out. It's probably one of my favorite unique ships I have in my collection, and Mike Reeder just did an amazing job. So you have this and you have this, so you could actually see a really good difference of it. This is definitely Eagle-esque and definitely Martin Bower style.
Yeah.
So,
and I was also going to say a nod to the Altares from Day After Tomorrow.
Yes, the Altares command module is actually very Martin Bower or Swift, Super Swift-esque.
Swift-esque,
definitely. Yeah. Or even don't even stop there. It's the Star Cruiser model kit. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that or not, but the original Martin Bower version was very close to the Altares before they changed it all up for the kit itself.
Wow.
But yeah.
Very cool.
I ever since Bill George held his homemade one up, and it's like, man, I would love to have one of those. And then Bill started 3D printing the little tiny one, and he ended up doing up a number of them. I bought one, and then he said he wanted to do a 22-inch. Like, well, I'm all in. Hook the brother up. So he did, and Mike, I gave the whole kit to Mike, and he did all the aluminum, and it's just an amazing build.
Wow.
I'm actually honored to have it in my collection.
That's really cool.
Very nice. Very nice. You've got, Gordon, you mentioned Wonderfest. We should take a couple of minutes just for everybody out there who's maybe considering Wonderfest this year. Is that coming up in June again? It is. I believe it's, oh, Lord. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it this year. This is the first time in 10 years that I haven't, or I'm not going. Oh, no. Yeah, we're not doing a display or anything like that. Nick is not going to be there.
Oh,
he
it's
was
May
there
29th through the 31st. I had
30th and 31st, yeah, in Louisville, Kentucky. So Aaron Skinner of Round 2 MPC or AMT or Polar Lights or whatever will be there. You'll get to see a whole bunch of cool stuff. If you get the early bird, you could actually get in there and maybe get some good, cool collectibles. There's not just modeling for horror and science fiction, but there's a number of toy third-party resellers out there that sell really old, classic retro toy stuff, like the peg toys or action figures or whatever. And you're sure to find all kinds of stuff. I never really bought too much stuff, but you got to see you got an opportunity to see all the cool stuff on the early bird. As being the dealer, I was able to walk the floor, and
Nice.
some of that stuff is really cool. Imagine if you wanted to, pull out about $300 for both of the Ahi. What is it? One was the Koenig parachutist, and the other one was the Spaceman parachutist from Space 1999. I don't know if you guys remember those peg toys or not, but
Yeah.
there's one fella that had both mint in the package, and I think he wanted like 300 for the pair.
Wow.
But
I've
you
seen
come
them around. I don't think they were available in Canada. The one thing that we did have, though, because we didn't even have the Mattel Eagle up here, were the little Roadstars ones.
Yes. LJN Hanna-Barbera did those. I can go into a geek discussion on that. But yeah, the Hawk transporter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Those are quite available now. So here's the geek part of it. If you could actually find the 3 die-cast in the original little box thing instead of the single packs, that is worth a fortune.
Because didn't they do a prototype with the Caldorian ship?
Not a prototype, but they actually released the Caldorian.
It was an actual release. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, the Caldorian, the Moon Buggy, and the Eagle.
I guess, yeah, those were the 3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
But yeah, like I said, if you could find the box, the box of all 3 instead of the single packs, that box by itself in good condition is worth a fortune.
So it was a triple pack release.
Yep.
Yeah. Gotcha. Huh.
Did they do those in 75, Gordon?
75, 76 time frame, whatever. I was like 9 years old going to my local TG&Y Gibson's, JCPenney.
JCPenney, yeah.
Long before the days of Walmart.
Oh yeah, the JCPenney catalog, the Sears catalog. I remember Christmas time. That was so huge.
Yeah. I was looking on eBay today. There's a couple of LJN walkie-talkie comm locks in the box. Some dude wants like I think $1,500 for the original box. Like, what? Okay, good luck with that.
Yeah. Wow.
Good grief. Anyway.
I should mention about Wonderfest. They are going to be celebrating the 60th anniversary of Star Trek. That's going to
who
be
isn't? Who isn't?
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's going on everywhere. But yeah, I believe Barbara Luna is going to be there, and also Sandy Gimple, just among a few people. Then definitely check out the website, folks.
Are you going, Roy? You've been once.
I there's probably not. I mean, there's so many things that are coming up this year, and I mean, Manchester is definitely on the table. The other thing that is pretty huge is the 60th anniversary that's going on in Vegas. That's another big one. The other thing is
STLV.
Yeah, that's huge. Also, I'm going to be up in Ticonderoga in June helping out, and that's for the 60th anniversary, and William Shatner will be up there for that. And then in September, it's going to be Ticonderoga. That'll be the weekend of the 19th and the 20th, and then they're going to be doing the unveiling of the Galileo. I mean, that was just being done.
Very cool.
And they're just coming off a really successful campaign on
and that was. I mean, it's very exciting. So it's I pretty much have to figure out what's going on, and
Yeah, last year when I went to STLV, that was kind of like a surprise. Where Todd was telling me that he just couldn't do it, and so it's like, well, I would stand in and help Nick out, but all of the things that were associated with that was just amazing. The 50th anniversary of celebrating Space 1999, since Barbara Bain and Nick Tate were both there, which turned out to be the second largest I guess side. What do they call it? One of the little
The gatherings.
The
gathering
panel. I
hour.
heard the panel was really well attended, and
Yeah, absolutely. So panel,
Yeah.
that's a good term.
Yeah.
That was the second largest that they had there.
And that wasn't Star Trek related. That was Space 1999. So
Right.
that's pretty exciting. And that says a lot about the interest of the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I even got the opportunity to meet the Tomy Plus guys and to talk to them about, I guess, the next iteration of what they were putting out, which I ended up getting the Klingon D7 warship, I guess.
Wow.
That's kind of neat. All lit
great.
up and die cast and whatever. So I figured 3 years I'll get it, because they took forever for the motion picture one. They're probably going to take forever again for the Klingon.
Definitely worth the wait, though.
Oh yes.
Hey, this is interesting. You guys heard this? Is Barbara going to Wonderfest this year?
I didn't hear anything about that.
I haven't heard
If
anything
she
about
is,
that.
that would be a neat.
Oh, nice.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That's very cool.
I have to look into that.
Yeah, I haven't been on the website, so I'm not sure. Thanks for sharing that, though, Chris. Appreciate that.
Oh, and listen, and just to spin off everything going on with Star Trek, in my neck of the woods, of course, Gordon, you were mentioning Roy and Ticonderoga. In my neck of the woods, we have Vulcan. So Vulcan will also be celebrating Star Trek 60th anniversary.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a no-brainer. Why not?
I think they're having Travis Mayweather from Enterprise there, and a couple other people. It's a small, intimate gathering as well. I mean, only a few hundred people, but it's just, I really like those events and those experiences, and similar to 1999 events where everybody is friendly and can get to know each other and keep in touch, and a lot of benefits to it.
So the cool thing about Brian the Brain, I was looking on here, is that, for all the conventions that you guys have hosted, looks like Yasko was in the episode. It looks like Pam Rose was in the episode. We've had those lovely ladies at the conventions recently. Well, within the last 10 years, recently, if you want to call it that. Wasn't a Springfield 1982 Space Con 5 or anything like that. It's just, I call that recent. And these are the ones that I was able to go to, because I didn't go to anything prior to 2014. Yeah. But you had a number of interesting individuals that were associated with Brian the Brain that we've hosted.
They've been extended family members the last few years. You're right. Yeah.
It was interesting too. The one actor, and sadly he's since passed away. He was a security guard, and that was Mark Zuber. He actually, if you look in the early promotional photos, especially the earlier year one episodes of Space, he was featured as I'll say a red sleeve, as a tech and main mission, and he can be seen.
Nice. So what's up with the photos that seem to pop up for Space 1999's behind the scenes? The one thing that I've noticed is that Martin Wiley had come across like box 2. Box 1 was like distributed to network DVD back in the day, and then they threw it on the DVD set. And then here recently, within the last year or so, I think that there was I call it box 2 of all these other photos that we've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And amazing stuff that you have a tendency of seeing, Yasko, Ray Austin
on the year one set.
On the year one set, I saw that. Yeah.
On main mission. Yeah.
And this is before she got casted for year 2.
Yeah.
So really cool, neato photographs that a lot of the second and third tertiary wandering Alphans that got to wear the uniform, that got to be extras in the episode. You get to see a bunch of that, holding the old cigarette.
Well, I'm not sure where they came from or who'd been hanging on to them for a number of years, but thank you, because I've seen a lot of those on the series page.
Yeah. I've been kind of scraping the internet, if you will. Which, by the way, if anybody's interested, I usually like to at least promote what I can. Get on over to the Space 1999 page. Yep. Yeah. proud to say that Space 1999 is popular. There's over 100,000 followers on the page, so there's a lot of action going on. But what was rather disappointing, and apparently sex sells a little bit more so, and you got a lot more sex in UFO than you had from 99. The numbers on the UFO series page actually surpassed Space 1999 series. I was just shaking my head. It's like, well, let me see if I can put another Drake of the Day photo on there.
And I've even seen some recent AI takes on Gabriel Drake.
Well, so somebody, so I took it to the next level. Somebody had placed Gabriel Drake's head on a Starfleet woman that was on the transporter. So I made an AI animation out of it. It came out really well, and it really hit pretty good.
Yeah.
And with all that being said, I could hear in the background, dun 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 dun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's almost midnight. Maybe we should get up and dance.
Oh shoot! No, I'll tell you, when I first watched UFO as a 10-year-old, as a 12-year-old, as a 14-year-old, yeah, thumbs up for Gabrielle Drake.
Kind of like a Devil's Planet.
Maybe I should put more of those on there and see what happens.
Yeah. Trying up the numbers.
Yeah,
but no, seriously, for everybody out there, it's just Space 1999 series, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, the other one that you're involved with that's done very well down through the years is Props and Chips.
Yeah, we Todd and I still do that. I think Neil Strawbridge does most of the adminning here lately. But yeah, the big following of the model kits. I also run a merchandise page, which I couldn't believe that actually got the numbers that it has been getting lately. And there's a news network page. There's a 44-inch Eagle page that there's obviously the main page too, the main group. And there's another one that's also called Space 1999. That's admin by the gentleman from Australia. Adrian.
Is that Adrian Sherlock?
No.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. And
Adrian's still here.
Yeah, Adrian's still out there. No, it's I can't think of his name. That's terrible. Oh my God.
Is it Andrew?
Andrew. I think it's Andrew. Yeah.
Yeah. I think his name is Andrew.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Like I said, I'm getting brain
stuff. Me too.
It's okay. It's there's so many pages though in it, and for everybody, it's at 11 o'clock there for you guys.
It is. Yeah.
Well,
good.
We weren't gonna drone on here and make this a 2 or 2.5 hour episode like we sometimes do, right, Roy? But we were gonna, because this is the second broadcast of the evening, sort of cap it at around an hour. So we'll try and stick to that for sure, because I know it's getting late for you guys. But it's just so much fun, and
we
could easily talk 2 or 3 hours, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
Easily.
But the other thing here, guys, of course, is it, I sort of scheduled this a little later to sort of tie into the stroke of midnight coming up here right away. And
April Fools.
Yes, I know. Some very exciting things happening tomorrow, along with NASA's launch. But we, of course, have the launch of
you have your own launch.
Yeah, Return to Moonbase Alpha Kickstarter launch. So that is gearing up, and I think I've got everything in place behind the scenes. We're doing very well. I've looked at, I did do some research on comparable size or similar campaigns for short films and science fiction projects, and based on the number of followers we have now, topping 450. Going into the actual launch, I think we're positioned very nicely. So thank you to everybody out there who's been following the project, and it's really nice to finally see it come to fruition. This is something that Roy and I have been working on since I guess the genesis was back in 2023 or 24, and it's nice to finally see it all come together. So we're all really excited. And, Gordon, with you just mentioning how popular the series still is and some of the numbers out there, we're hoping that's, of course, going to translate into some big success over the next couple of days here. So be watching.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, be watching for that. We've put a couple trailers up. Maybe we should watch that latest trailer here before we sign off here, guys.
Do what you got to do there, sir.
Sure.
Yeah,
This is your world. I'm just a squirrel trying to get it done.
Well, let's take a quick look at that, and then we'll come back and do a quick wrap up here. There it is.
Awkward silence.
Enjoy, everybody. This will be actually on the Kickstarter landing page tomorrow when we go live.
Nice.
Terra Alpha status report. Operation Genesis update. Dr. Dino Videshi recording. Many years ago, when I was just a boy, my father and I took a trip to New Elna, our primary capital. Our pilot and friend was Captain Alan Carter, who flew us there in Eagle One. The view over our new world was breathtaking. Ever since that time, I have longed to get back into that pilot seat. And now it appears that I'll actually have that chance very soon. For months now, we've been tracking the moon's approach back into range, and detailed plans are well underway for a few of us to return. Ancient technology that's been discovered here on Terra Alpha will enable us to repair most of Moonbase Alpha's vital systems. Life support will be powered up, and the long-deserted base will be brought back into life after all these years. The decision to leave our home, our families, was not an easy one. As I prepared to embark with my own family, I'll never forget my mother Maya, or my father, Anthony Dean Videshi, whom sadly we lost several years ago. We return to the cosmos to honor the memories of everyone we've lost, and to continue the journey the people of Earth started way back on September the 13th, 1999. Operation Genesis will allow us to re-establish a living, breathing presence in outer space and fulfill the destiny of Moonbase Alpha. This is Dr. Dino Videshi, signing off.
Nice.
And there we have it. There we have it. What a voice, hey?
Oh yeah, he really.
Christian
Is amazing.
Yeah.
And a heck of a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Such a nice guy. So down to earth.
Yeah, no, for sure. There was one thing that just popped up from Christopher again, and we sort of touched on this, I think, before we went live here, fellas. So Christopher's asking, does Return to Moonbase Alpha follow the same timeline as the Powis Media novels? That's very interesting. So the shorter answer is no, but that's not to take anything away. And I think a big shout out to Matteo and everything he did with the Powis series there was wonderful. Especially even during the dark times when there wasn't a lot of other merch out there, right? Essentially, Return to Moonbase Alpha is going to pick up directly from a couple of story points and threads that were presented in Message from Moonbase Alpha 25 years ago. So everybody remembers when that was premiered at the famous Breakaway Convention, and how it essentially went on to become, everybody's agreed upon and accepted 49th episode, if you will. And it was canonical, right? I think nobody could argue the fact that, it was in universe. It was the official continuation of the story. And so what we're trying to do here with Return is, of course, continue on that tradition. Certainly not a true revival in that sense, but a fan-driven continuation of the story with some of the original actors and characters involved, and a hope for maybe some new and exciting adventures down the road. So there we go.
Well, I hope ITV buys off on it. That would be kind of neat.
You never know. I mean, stranger things have happened, right? And based on what we do or don't do with even this little Kickstarter, starting tomorrow. I mean, if it does do very well, sure. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if people started to sort of take note and step up. Who knows?
Yeah.
So let's hope.
Look forward to seeing the final product. That's for sure. I know.
Yeah, well, and very exciting, and of course that it's no secret, but I mean, it sort of makes sense that we're planning on filming the majority of the project while we're all together in Manchester. So it makes sense from so many levels, just to have the set there, the actors there, right, and so also cutting down on the expenses as well, not having to travel a second or third time to get actor A over to point B to sit in the Eagle, things like that. So yeah, I think we're doing well. We're all very excited. Thank you both for your help in spreading the word and helping to create the buzz train here on things. And
you're welcome, Warren. And you put a lot of effort into putting this together, and it's something to look forward to. So I think with that, I mean, there's been so many times that it's come up, with the fans about, a story or an extension, and it's crazy, you're in regards to talking about Message from Moonbase Alpha, that was it. I was at the 1999 convention, and when that was showcased, I mean, it was about 7 minutes long, or a little over 7 minutes, but it really just the whole audience was captured for that. And
it's a very emotional moment.
Yeah, it really, really was, because I think everybody is really just, so invested, with Space 1999, and, the characters. I mean, think about it. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be 60 in July. So it's like, when I think that 50 years of my life, Space 1999 has been a part of it. I mean, just, watching it back in 1975, more than 50 years, it'll be 51 years, which is kind of crazy. So it's in essence, it's almost like an extended family, and in regards to the characters. And then we've had the unique ability with the conventions over the years to meet the folks that have brought these characters to life, whether it be their portrayals, or it's been in the writing, and then also with everything that's involved with the series. And there's a lot of emotional ties. So I think that it really definitely hits home when something like this is being presented, and it's very special.
Yep. I almost as well. I get kind of that way every time a new Eagle gets released.
Yep, exactly. It really tugs on the heartstrings all around, doesn't it, fellas?
It really does.
I'm actually surprised, in some regards. I'm actually surprised that this obscure 2-year mid-70s TV show is still being merched as much as it has been ever since. Well, I think 2013 was like the resurgence of it. I mean, you have DVDs and some books and whatnot, but I mean, the resurge, I think, for a lot of stuff started around 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of going pretty strong ever since.
And credit to yourself and Todd and people like Chris Trice, who worked so closely with Jamie at round two, right? To sell the idea, right?
Oh yeah.
It's just amazing what you guys were able to achieve, and now look at the legacy, 15 years later. So thank you from all of us as well.
Well, I mean, I had a part in it. I just like to get the word out. Did I engineer anything? No, I guess it's a team effort.
Yeah, that's well said, Gordon. That's well said.
But you guys get to enjoy Eagles now, so that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
and which, by the way, hopefully these next Mattel Big Eagles, the Eagle 1976, will be coming out here very shortly.
Yeah, just and not just round two, but 1612 and now Giant Leap, and it's just amazing. And like you said, to consider that 50 years later, there seems to be no shortage in sight even.
No, the Eagle Well still seems to be full. As a matter of fact, Master Replicas, I believe, is working with 1612 to put out the next iteration of whatever. It'd be kind of neat to see Steve come out with his dream of an 18-inch Eagle with cutaway parts of it.
Oh, wow.
Similar to what Roberto Baldessari had done for his poster.
Very nice. And of course, the other one I forgot to mention was Eagle Moss coming out with their version, which spun into Anderson Entertainment, right?
Yep. The next one is actually the cargo winch. Anybody buy the gold one?
No. I had a couple of the Product Enterprise ones from years ago, but
yeah, the gold one was actually kind of neat. First time, once again geeking out. It's the first time you get to see a diecast actually dressed up as Eagle 2, even though they call it Eagle 1's 50th anniversary gold edition, whatever. Yeah. It's really Eagle 2's details on the shoulder pods, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know why he did that, but they did it. And would you believe that little Eagle is actually heavier because it's made out of all metal? It's heavier than the gold PE Eagle from 2005-6 timeframe.
Wow.
Yeah, I weighed them both.
Of course.
Speaking of geeking out, you had me just thinking, and we were talking about Eagle 4. I could see the Eagle 1976 release. Could you imagine if they came out with, if let's say it does exceptionally well, and then they come out, and if they did a modification of that where they actually put the lab pod in the center, and then you get some booster units on there, and you have an Eagle 4 for the Eagle 1976. That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's not off the table. I know that both Tim and Craig had talked a little bit about maybe other additions. So yeah, it's not off the table. It just, you got to, produce a new tooling for the thing, which is very expensive, but which is why they kind of milked the various editions, the Mattel edition and the Dinky edition of those. And I say that in the most positive way, milking it,
Absolutely. No,
and yes, I bought all of them.
No, but for that investment, why not? Right? I mean, you want to try and recoup your cost, and for the sake of a quick and easy paint job, it's going to appeal to certain people. Why not? Yeah.
And now I'm going to have to get another IKEA shelf just to display those now.
Hey, Gordon, you jumped up a couple times to show us something. Can you show us your 88-inch?
I wish I could. It's all in the basement in pieces.
What? No, in pieces. What?
Well, I mean, I disassembled it. It's
yes. Okay.
Stored. I didn't destroy it or anything.
I thought it
took
a fall or something.
No. It's in the basement. We've been moving around. This is kind of my new home now. Here in the attic. This is kind of the executive suite, if you want to call it, to where we're. I'm fixing to redress up some furniture and do the display right, because right now I don't have anything to display on. And unfortunately, you can see where my roof line is. There's not a whole lot of height that I can use to display, because that's very limiting. So I got to be very creative now. But I did find a way to display that thing right there. So I'm pretty happy about that.
That's in a nice position, actually.
It's not bad.
No, awesome. And talking about Craig and Tim, two really, really nice guys too.
Oh, they're awesome. They're awesome. Yep, still waiting with bated breath on the release of those Eagles. The latest video that they put together, and then I kind of revamped it a little bit with new music, was the box opening of their standard edition. And man, that thing looks so great. It really does. I'm so excited about that, and I'm sure a lot of people are, especially when 50 years later. This year, as a matter of fact, 50 years later,
this year,
that a lot of people in Canada or the UK did not get the opportunity to get the Mattel. This is now your opportunity to get the latest and greatest, which is a little bit better now. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit better. You guys had the opportunity to touch the prototype 3D printed one in London.
Yeah.
And no, where no, it was at Wonderfest. It was at
we had the first prototype. The initial prototype was in the UK at the
in London. Yeah, of course, Jamie Anderson was going to be front and center on that since he's part of the license on it.
And Tim came over for that. Tim was there.
Tim was there, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I had Tim and Craig on the show. Last year. Actually, last year. Or maybe
cool.
Year before. Really nice.
But they also came to Wonderfest last year for our 50th anniversary, 50 years of modeling, I guess.
Yeah.
They brought the first I guess styrene plastic tooled version of what the final is going to be like. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I know. Talking to Tim, he was really appreciative of all the help that you had. Did.
Oh yeah, I told him come on over. I wasn't going to charge him nothing.
Yeah, no, he was really, really happy with that.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I was actually a little disappointed though that when Norm Chin from Adam Savage Tested page, he did our 2023 Eagle display, but he didn't do their Eagle interview that they shot. They just never did it. They never put it out on YouTube. I was a little disappointed with that.
Oh, Adam Savage.
Adam Savage, yes.
Yeah, Tested. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's got over 7 million subscribers now through YouTube.
Wow, that's incredible.
That would have been great exposure for that Eagle.
Oh my God!
But they still sold out. They still sold out off their regular webpage though, which is kind of neat. I think Jamie's got a few left from the amount that he's going to be getting his allocation. But if you still need to get a standard one, you'll be paying a little bit more, but you can get it through the Anderson store. It is a little bit more pricier, and obviously because it's got to go there and then come back to the North America side of the house. So yeah, it's but there, like I said, the main site's sold out.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, I when you get that Eagle in your hand, it's going to be critical.
I know. Who would have thought? 50 years later that would be happening. And it's you know what? It's a wonderful time for Space 1999 fans. And you were saying it. You were starting to say it before, and I was just gonna. I kind of was like, it was like wink, wink. You said bigger and better. More exciting than ever.
Dude, the future is fantastic.
It really is.
But you know what? We should also sort of cap this off by pointing out the fact that sitting right behind Roy is the world's second scratch-built 44-inch Eagle from Mr. Lou Place.
Yeah, Lou put that together back in 1980. Latest I think he told me was around 1984, and he actually has photos. He had taken photos of constructing that Eagle. I mean,
I've seen them. Yeah.
We figured this was the second because Gordon, it probably would have been Robin Hill had the first.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was 44-inch, but it's big.
Yeah.
It was big. Definitely the first homemade studio scale looking Eagle that I guess had ever been produced. Very limited resources. He did an amazing job, if you ask me, for the time.
He couldn't even pause a videotape, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't what?
He couldn't even pause a videotape, right? For reference. Like it's just amazing what that chap did.
Yeah. I don't know if VHS was available in.
I was going to say, I don't even think at that time, because that would have been literally in 76.
Yeah, during the production of season 2. Yep.
They were.
He whipped that thing together.
video cassettes were a thing, but it was more that pro U-matic format that TV stations used, right? VHS or anything home for
He
the
might have
home
been.
video market wasn't released until late 70s. I'm
Well,
sure.
if he put the Eagle together, he must have had some sort of resources, because he had this really nice 35 millimeter camera around his neck. He was wearing
Well,
a
true.
suit. I mean,
Yep.
he was.
Yeah.
I think wasn't doing too bad back
He
then.
was styling.
So I don't know. Maybe he did have the resources to get some sort of reference. I don't know. But anyway, it'd be interesting to find out what happened to that Eagle.
Yeah. But just think about that experience of visiting the set and visiting Bray Studios, hey?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. The priceless.
Dream come true.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, I was like 9-10 years old when that happened.
Yeah. I remember how excited I was to get the Making of Space 1999. Living vicariously through those photos. I mean,
I know. You know, it's really weird. And I know a lot of people hate AI, talking about Brian the Brain. I know I have taken a number of those stills to include the really cool picture of Eagle 3 being filmed for New Adam, New Eve, that very awesome picture that's in the Making of Space 1999, and turning that into an actual animated set to where you're actually kind of swinging around, checking out the people who are actually filming the Eagle itself. It came out pretty well.
Came out very well.
And I know a lot of people just hate the AI slop, if you will, but some of that stuff actually comes out really well.
Yeah. And that photo has always, and Gordon, you and I have talked about this, but that photo
was my first inspiration for 44.
Yeah. I mean, as a child, I remember, and I've told this story on the show and here, and just, I was in my parents we were between Florida and New Jersey, and we were trying to check into a hotel, and then what happened was my dad actually we were trying to check out because the heat, the air conditioning wasn't working. It was like in August, and it was brutally hot, and my mom and I were in the gift shop, and in the gift shop on a rack, one of those spinning racks, was the Making of Space 1999 in South Carolina Days Inn Hotel. I mean, what the heck? And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm seeing this, I'm going through it. And I'm like, and I pretty much in my parents, with 1999, and I was like, please.
Yeah. And then you're just oogling over all the plethora of photos that were included in that. It was just amazing. For a taste of behind the scenes.
Yeah, and then you actually had the set, and in some ways that was a blessing, and in some ways it's like it kind of ruined the reality of this show for me for a year or two, because anytime they're at a specific area, in my mind, I go right to that diagram in the Making of Space 1999. I'm like, I know where they are on the set, because they were the standing sets that they had. Yeah. And I
you talking about the little blueprint thing that was.
Yeah.
And I just follow that in my mind.
If you want a high-res photo of that, I actually have a high-res version of that.
Sold. But that Eagle 3 photo is in there from New Adam, New Eve, and it was like, wow, look at that. And,
I wish I had a high-res of that, but a lot of the photos that I have are photos of the photos from that book, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed in the new.
All good.
The Making of Space 1999 is scheduled to come out from Fanders.
There's a revised version.
Yep. I'm looking forward to that. Anderson Entertainment.
Well, in order for me to get my gold Eagles, I had to cancel that so they could actually move forward with my shipment.
Right.
They actually warn you. They do warn you on pre-ordered items. If you order everything at once, it ain't going to get shipped until that last pre-order item gets released. It's like, oh, that sucks. So I had to do that. So I'll order it separately. But I am waiting. I can't wait to see that book. That book.
I know.
We grew up with the original, so it's like it'd be interesting to see how this one comes out.
We're gonna get a complete second season episode guide. It's not going to cut off at the Tabor.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting.
Tim Heald could only produce what he knew. I mean,
no, I know.
Yeah, But how cool was it that he was able to be a part of that whole
Oh my
that
God.
whole
All that access and
world? Yeah, the access in the world of the production of 99 Year 2. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
And sadly, he's no longer with us. I mean, he would have been somebody I would have loved to have spoken to,
Yeah.
interviewed
Yeah.
with. It would have so much information.
Yeah, that
So,
was
so much
amazing.
that's come to light. Even more recently, there was something from the archives dug up on one of the home video releases about a small little film crew being on set during one of the episodes, filming behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's on the DVD, the Blu-ray release.
Yeah. I think they were filming
They were doing New Adam, New Eve. They were there for that.
Adam and Eve. Was it
And the
Mark of
Tabor.
Arcanon? Something like
Mark of Arcanon. Yep, that was
Yeah.
one of them because it's with Ettrick and Pask in the medical center and Nick.
That's right. Yeah.
And what's cool is you can actually see the set. You can see the ceiling, how it drops too.
Yeah.
And it's really so cool to see those behind the scene images.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, listen, we happen to get another 27 minutes out of this, I guess.
I want to give my shameless plug here for the
Yes,
show.
I was going to say, Roy, what are you doing this weekend?
So I'm not doing anything this weekend. However, the show Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner is celebrating its 6th year anniversary date this Friday on April 3rd. And Ross and I just put something a little something we put together. We actually filmed it tonight, and I went down to Princeton, New Jersey, and met up with him. So So I will be posting that on Friday. And it again, if you for the holiday weekend, we decided that we weren't going to do anything, but I am going to post that out, and then we will be celebrating next week on April 10th. Will be the 300th episode of the show. So I'm going to try to make that special. Open it up for folks to come on. You guys are invited to drop in, say hello, and I'm just going to open it up to the fans that watch the show, and just come on and just share some moments. And
I'll tell you what, you had some historical figures on your show at one point or another. So definitely shout out for that.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Everything
Gordon.
you've done. I can't believe it's been 6 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Me being one of them. I'm just kidding. In my own mind.
It's all good. Hey, anybody that's been on the show, it's been a privilege. So I'm very present company included. I don't know. I can't believe it's 300 episodes and 6 years. It's just like, wow. And it started right after the pandemic. I mean, that was the whole part of I wanted to do something creative. Mm-hmm. And then I also thought it would be really cool to bring people together, considering we're all in isolation. So, just kind of kept going.
And just cool. Amazing. Some of the people, like Gordon said, Roy, but sadly at the same time, some of them that we've lost, and in relation to even in the last year in our community, in losing Apprentice and Clifton, and so close together within a week last year.
Yeah, that was tragic.
We missed them all dearly.
It was an absolute blessing that you were able to get them in at 2024 in London.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was awesome.
That was very much in part to our friend Suzanne.
Yeah.
She was instrumental, even in agreeing to pick him up to make sure he got his butt there, as Suzanne would say.
Blessings to Clifton. I'm glad that he got that, because I mean he was at the very first Space 1999 convention in 1978 in Columbus, Ohio. Yep. And it was really nice that he actually felt the warmth of the fans, because I really feel that was important for him, because things could have definitely been better for him in his later years. I mean, he definitely went through a lot. So the fact that he experienced all that love from the fans at that event, I think that's what it's really about. I mean, at the end of the day, as far as being human and everything, I mean, there's all the other fun stuff and the great stuff that goes around it, but to be able to lift somebody's spirits, I think that's so important. And I really feel that was achieved with for Clifton. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There were some moments even, and a couple of people caught it on video during the opening ceremonies with even Nick Tate getting up to give Clifton a big hug.
Yes.
And just remarkable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very thankful. Okay. Well, fellas, listen, I won't keep you then. I know it's very, very late there. Just a couple of extra quick words here before we sign off. I wanted to let everybody know that's followed this channel and all of our work with the events we put together, everything Roy and I have done, and just so everybody out there watching tonight, there's been a lot of questions this last week or so when we're going live tomorrow. So I would like to let everybody know officially that we will be going officially live with Kickstarter at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. So be watching 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. And as an extra little special tidbit, there are at least 2 rewards or perks that will be available for only 24 hours. So you want to try and get there as soon as you can to check it all out and see if it's something you'd be interested in, because they are limited time specials. So there we go. There we have it. Fellas, any other final thoughts or anything on Brian the Brain or Space 1999? I know. We're going to go for another 3 hours.
I didn't get to share the principal photography of Brian the Brain was May 18th of 1976 to June 2nd of 1976. So it's kind of coming up on the 50-year mark. We're not quite there yet, but it's in about 24 minutes. Well, actually 23 now. We will be able to say, at least on the East Coast, that next month we'll make that 50 years.
Nice. Warren, I do appreciate the invite. This was fun.
This was a lot of fun. Just so nice to see and catch up with all of our guests. And thank you for taking the time. And we'd love to have you back.
You bet.
Thanks for joining, Gordon. Always a pleasure. And talk to you soon. Talk to you real soon.
All right. Have a great one.
You betcha. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, everyone.
See you, everybody.
Thanks, Warren.
You bet.